Hi, and welcome to MBA512 Business Planning and Strategic Management for the winter 2018. I am your instructor, Professor Nugent. I am starting off at the Getting Started menu path of our class, which tells us, number one, to watch the video syllabus, which you're currently doing. Please watch it to its entirety because I'll be answering many questions that you're most likely to have during your 3 weeks in this course. Number two, see assignments on the menu tab to read case studies and submit homework assignments. Okay. Number three, see discussions on the menu tab to post and reply to class discussion topics. Number four, register with the class simulation at jupiterinteractive.net, class code 512-2018. Watch the Getting Started a Zoom video here. Now, this Zoom video is a generic video, so if anything pops up in there that's not generic, like a date or an assignment date, due date, or just ignore all that. Or maybe there's a different class code in there. This is a generalized overview of the simulation, not specific to our class. So this is just to kind of give you some familiarity with how to complete the simulation. And number five, I suggest subscribing to the class playlist to get all the class lectures. So this is the link to the class playlist. Okay, so that's the Getting Started. So let's go over to announcements. So in announcements, we have the first announcement is important. Register for the Zoom simulation. On Wednesday, January 3rd, you must be registered, and we have the first round is going to be processed January 3rd at night. So you're gonna excuse me. This is a winter course, so of course I have a cold when I'm trying to record the Getting Started video. So just excuse me if I cough or sound weird during this video because of this cold I have. Okay, so yes, so you want to get right on setting up the Zoom simulation classroom competition for our class. The second announcement is all about the simulation. So the competition starts the first day, January 3rd, and you have to complete round one by the end of the night. So I'm going to click on Classroom Competition, create a company, and complete the round by January 3rd. You are a team of one, so we can work as individuals in this class competition. If you have friends you know that are taking this class and you want to work with somebody else, that's fine as long as someone else has agreed to work with you. You can't just hijack or join a company that you don't have permission to join. So for the most part, I envision most people are working by themselves for the simulation, which I think most students prefer. So you will see some text boxes called reflective observations. Those are optional. It's a winter course. They're at the bottom of each screen on the simulation. They don't have to be completed because when you watch the extra help with Zoom video, they may be talking about these reflective observations, but they're not for us in this winter course. You can read them, but you don't really have to reply to them. This is a 15-point assignment, and you would go to jupiterinteractive.net, enter in this class code after you register, and these are the due dates every January 3rd and Wednesday and Fridays. These are due. So 3rd and the 5th, the 10th and the 12th, and the 17th and 19th. A round is due. So 2 rounds per week for a total of 6 rounds. Your cumulative overview points is how I score you on this assignment. So if you get over 2,500 points, you score the full 15 points. And here's another message about do not complete the reflective observations, because what happens is this generic video talks about you completing them, so people get confused. So I'm just trying to clarify you don't have to do the reflective observations in the simulation. Okay. More announcements to follow, including announcements each week. As I get closer to the final exam, I'll post an announcement about when the final exam is going to open and close. It's already posted actually. How I grade the case studies, get information about how I'm going to grade the case studies that you're going to be working on, information on how to do citation, and then a welcome to week 1 announcement where I talk about what you should be doing for week 1. And of course, no late assignments will be accepted. And I did post some helpful hints about the simulation. So important to read over the announcements area, because there's a lot of good information in there that will help you to keep on track with the course. Okay, so let's get to the syllabus. Now, the winter syllabus here, it's an asynchronous class, so you can watch the lecture videos uh, when you're ready. Here are the learning goals for the class, how to accomplish the learning goals. The textbook, we have 2 textbooks for the class. We have Kellogg's on Strategy, which is a traditional core concepts book, and we have Blue Ocean Strategy, which is a more progressive, more innovative, more current book on strategy. All assignments will be posted on Blackboard. We can go over that in a minute. The grades as follows. Participation is 8 points. This is in the discussion boards. The mini casework is 42 points. The online exam will be 25 points. And the simulation is 15 points for a total of 100 points. And then those points break down to a grading schedule here. The test will be online. It will be based on the material from the textbooks and the lecture PowerPoints. The format will be essay and short answer, and you'll have a couple of days to work on that. So here is the class schedule. The class starts on January. Oh, that's 2017. I got to fix that. It starts on January 3rd, and we go from. Now we start on January 3rd. No, we start January 2nd because January 1st is New Year's Day, so we start January 2nd. And we go to January 19th. So that's the dates of the course. And yeah, so it's winter session 2018 starts on January 2nd, goes to the 19th. Here's an outline for week 1, what we'll be doing each day for week 1, then week 2, and week 3. So I've outlined what you should be reading, the chapters you should be reading, the lectures you should be watching, each class for each of the weeks. So that's the bottom of the syllabus. If you want a more detailed day-to-day description of what you should be doing in the course, this would be a good place to go. There's also academic dishonesty. Please don't cheat, plagiarize, or have collusion during the class. It's very, I just sent 5 students to academic dishonesty last semester, and it's very time-consuming and troubling to have to do that, so please do not cheat. Okay. So let's get back to the course here. And the next up after the syllabus, so this wasn't, I'm not reading the syllabus to here. I want you to read over the syllabus, and please be sure to read this entire document. It's your responsibility to know everything it contains in the syllabus. I'm just giving you a brief overview of the syllabus. Now, if we go to course documents, inside course documents, I have a student example of a case study. So this is a useful document where you can kind of see this is a case study on McDonald's restaurants. And this is a student submission of the case study and what they wrote to each of the questions to complete the case study. So this is an example of a full point A submission case studies. And you notice that they put a reference list and includes all the references. And the references are, when you do these case studies, I'm expecting you to find information outside of the basic data I provide you. We'll go over more of that in a minute. So there's an example case study. These are the notes for the Blue Ocean and the Kellogg's textbooks are right here. And I have a backup of some MP3s for the Blue Ocean Strategy book. If you prefer to listen to the book on tape, but you can only listen to these if you've purchased the book. And I don't suggest trying to complete the course without purchasing the book, because the book will be needed, will be useful, very useful when you're doing the exam, to have everything written down, being able to go through the book to complete the exam. Alright, so let's go to assignments. So the first assignment is the discussion board participation. So there's 18 points here, 6 points, I set up 6 discussion boards. And there's 2 discussion boards per week. Each discussion board is worth 3 points. We're going to go to the discussion boards in a second to continue this. So I expect every student to post 1 original response to the question and at least 2 replies. Each post should be about 100 to 200 words, and you earn points for your participation and the quality of your answers and replies. So if your reply is a yes or okay, that's really not good quality. So let's go to discussions and see how these work. Okay, so the first discussion board, this is not an assignment, but this is the class question. So if you have questions about the class, you can click here. Then you can subscribe to this discussion board. So that way, if you subscribe to a discussion board, any student that posts a thread here or a reply, you'll get an email saying someone's posted something here. And then you can create a thread here to ask questions about the class if you have any questions about the class. Okay. So for the case studies, though, not the case studies, the discussion questions, the first discussion question is best strategy. So you see each week discussion question, DQ is discussion question week 1. So I have 2 for week 1, 2 for week 2, and 2 for week 3. So what you do is, here's the question: what company do you think has the best strategy? Why? Describe and explain. Please do not use Apple or Google. Please rate each student's original thread. Okay, so I want you to make one original post and make 2 replies to other students to the discussion. And this starts on January 2nd, which is a Tuesday actually, and it goes to Friday on this particular post. So please make please make your original posts. I prefer you to make your original posts on Monday and Tuesday, and then replies on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday if you can. That way, if you make an original post, you have time to reply to other students' posts. Okay. So, and your question, your answer to the question should be 200 to 300 words at a minimum, and your replies to other students should be 100 to 200 words as a minimum. Okay. So how do we complete this discussion question? So let's copy this. So you just click. It says click here. So I put that in there, so because it's not so intuitive. You get to the discussion thread here. So you're not going to see any threads here until you create your thread. So I set something up where you have to create a thread before you can see another student's thread. So you would click on create thread, and then you could put your name like that. And maybe put in discussion question 1, and then you could answer the discussion question, and you can put your answer in here, and then under each of the questions, and oops, and then once you're done, you can click submit. Okay, so then once you submit your thread, all the other students' threads will open up, and this prevents you from reading other students' threads and copying what they've put. And then you can go into another student's thread, and you can see their response, and you can reply by clicking reply. Let's hold up here. Okay, and you get, so then you can reply, this is too short. Please elaborate. Oops. There we go. Submit. And then you can also grade these posts from 1 to 5 stars. All right. So why can't I grade this? Oh, because it's my post. So can't grade your own post. But when you read someone's post, if you don't really like what their quality is low, you can rate it 1 star. Or if you really love it, rate it 5 stars. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete these 2 posts. These are just examples. So this is normally what you'll see. You'll create your thread, create your post, and then once you post your post, you'll be able to read and respond to other students' posts in each of the forums. And so you have 2 per week, and they're fun, they're insightful, they're thoughtful types of questions that really explore our topics and our things that we're learning in the class, and give you a chance to really put down some of your ideas and your spin on some of these concepts. So I think you'll find these enjoyable and fun. So let's move over back to assignments. Now the second assignment you have, besides the discussion questions, is the case studies. So I have each week so week 1 I have case study 1 and 2 due on Saturday, and then I have next week 3 and 4 due on Saturday, January 13th, and then last week I have just case 5 due on the get handed on the 20th, And of course, the bottom here's the Zoom simulation details again about the class code, where to register, and we'll get to that in a minute. So when we do it in case study, so here's case study 1. I have the document here. So you click on the attached file, and this will be the questions. So here's Disney versus Netflix. So here are the questions. And then I put some cases. I did a little research. I threw a couple of cases together, some news articles together to help you get started on answering these questions. So you want to read over this in its entirety. And then, let me go back. Once you've read over the case study, you compose your Word or PDF document, and then you're going to attach it to this link. So when you're putting your document together, you want to make sure that you answer each question, and you can quite simply, when you say you're going to start your document, you can just, it doesn't have to be an essay format. You could just take the questions, take those those questions, and then you open up a Word document, and you can kind of paste those questions in here. And then, so underneath each question, you could put your response underneath each question. What's this? All right. So of course you want to always have your name, and then the what you're working on, of course, and then question 1, and then you can put your response underneath here in question 1, and then work on question 2. Now, to do well in these case studies, you should actually go to find some additional information. So go to the internet, find other articles, find other authors, and put together some more information. So this is, why is this like killing the speed on my computer? I'll close this. Alright, so you can go to, I left the library resources here, so if you click on that, you can open up the library and the university, and then you can search, oops, Disney, Netflix. Say search under the library, and then there'll be a number of articles you could look at here. This show you how easy it is to do a little research. And then when you have your article, you could say full text finder, or sometimes they have the full text. Can Netflix slay the mouse? You have to log in with your Stony Brook web ID, of course, and then you can get the full text. But remember that you want to also cite these properly, so you want, here's like the citation. I can use this citation here, and then so when you put the paper together, so once you have your document together, you're going to go and click on case 1 here, and then it shows the possible points, and then browse my computer, and you attach your file. Once you attach your file, you hit submit. And again, if you go to the course documents, I have a student example up here on course documents where they see question 1, they write the question, they answer it, but very importantly, since it's a graduate class and professional, you include, it's also nice to include graphics if you have them, you include your references. So you should have a reference list in the proper citation format, and if you are going to quote anything like you see here, you have a proper quotation if you're quoting any information. So when you're writing as a graduate student, you don't just write facts. You don't just say McDonald's made $2 billion. You need to cite that. Where'd you get that information from? How do you know that? So that's how you write properly as a graduate student. So when I'm grading these, you'll see that when I grade these, I have a rubrics when I grade them, that you can view the rubrics right here. It says view rubrics. You click on that, and you'll see that I'll give you poor, above, below average, average, and above average for how well the paper was organized, presented, grammar, formatting, research, how much research I thought you put into it beyond the articles I provided. Your formatting, did you use a proper cited things properly using one of these established formats for citing and references? Was the paper interesting, engaging, or all topics and questions assigned covered? So I have a rubrics that you can look at to get a better idea of how I'm going to grade your case study. So you should think about this rubrics before you submit your paper to me, because I'm looking for professional graduate level work here, not some undergraduate slop that you're just going to throw up here and think that I'll be okay with it. So I'm looking for papers that are going to answer my questions, be well thought out, have additional research behind them. Any quotations for what other people say or facts are cited properly with a reference list. And so I'm looking for, a master's level, MBA level, graduate paper to be written in each of these case studies. Just letting you know that ahead of time. Okay. And I try to, each semester, I look for and develop new cases to keep the cases topical, timely, prevent students from copying students' cases from last year, that sort of thing. So these are all fresh and ready to go, and hopefully you'll find them very interesting. Okay, so that is the entire class. So just to kind of recap, when you come into the class for the first time, review the Getting Started section here with the video, read over the announcements, read over the syllabus, look at the course documents, and start working on the assignments, both the discussion boards and case questions. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I hope you found this video helpful, and good luck in the course.